Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Today's show, I got the latest news and rumors, and we're going to get right into it here around Jordy Nelson because he appeared on the Pat McAfee show, and he said some pretty cool things, I think, about Derek Carr, about Jon Gruden, and about their relationship. So for those of you that have never heard of Jordy Nelson, I feel bad for you. He did spend one season with the Oakland Raiders back in 2018, and I think he's just one of those players that solid veteran, solid dude in the locker room, and when he was with us, I really, really liked him. Now, I do really appreciate when NFL players do talk about former coaches or former quarterbacks. So this is what Jordy Nelson had to say on Gruden and Carr's relationship. I think their two demeanors and personalities might clash, but they honestly get along great. I mean, it's a good balance. There's a couple of times when I was there, they got a little fiery at each other, but you know, that happens with everyone, especially when you're coming right off the field. He also said this, one thing I think that works great for these two, like I said earlier, Derek is extremely smart and puts in so much time and work that he can handle everything that Gruden's throwing at him. Now, I kind of want to wrap up what Jordy had to say because I did see this quote, which I like a lot, because, again, when you are a quarterback of any NFL team, you are going to get criticism. And this is what Jordy had to say on the criticism around Derek. Guy's extremely smart, very talented, works extremely hard, can make the throws, does it all. I think he's been in a tough situation. I think similar to what Alex Smith dealt with the 49ers of just constantly rotating through coaches and offensive coordinators. Basically what Jordy Nelson is saying here is this. Look, we criticize Derek Carr a lot. There's a lot of rumors around Carr and his relationship with Gruden, but we are going into another year with Derek Carr as the quarterback, and that's how it's going to be. So this show, Raiders Report, everything we do here at Chat Sports, it's about the viewers. And I want to know, be honest with me here, all right? Because as much as we talk about DC, that's what happens when you're the quarterback, and it's what happens when you're getting paid all that money. But let me know, does he deserve all the criticism he receives? Y for yes or an N for no? Now, I wanted to hit you with this special deal early on today's show because we've had a lot of people ask, Mitch, where the heck can I find some new Las Vegas Raiders stuff? And I found this hat, chatsports.com/Raiders draft hat. Normally it's like $40. Right now you can get it for only $33.99. For those of you that need a new hat, I got you covered. It'll be in the description. It'll be in the comment section below. Go rep our team. Raiders draft hat. All right, let's keep the show moving here, okay? We're going to now dive into something a little bit around some linebackers because the Raiders, they invested $35.7 million in guaranteed money to revamp their linebacker core, which, let's be real, it does look a lot better than what we had last year. And when I look at, Paul Gunther's 4-3 defensive scheme, I know that Littleton, I think, is going to play the weak side linebacker, and I believe Kwiatkowski is going to play middle linebacker, which then kind of makes me wonder, who is going to play strong side linebacker? Because between you and me, I actually do think this is up for grabs. So you guys knew I was going to ask. Who's going to start at strong side linebacker? If you think it's going to be Markel Lee, type M. If you think it's going to be Nicholas Morrow, type N. If you think it's going to be the rookie out of Clemson, I want you to type T for Tanner Muse. But first, let's look at the players that were on the roster last season. You have Nicholas Morrow, who personally I think, is more of a depth rotational player, but he does show improvement every single year, which could make him a starter. And then you got Lee. Lee battled a lot of injuries last year, appeared in just 5 games, only 11 tackles. Now, I had a lot of high hope for Lee because in 2018 he did have 68 tackles. But again, you're looking at two players where I don't really know if the ceiling is all that high. And if we're going to Vegas, if we're going to roll the dice a little bit, and you want to get a player who's extremely versatile, who's a proven winner, maybe you do go with the rookie Tanner Muse, who had 54 tackles last year, 4 interceptions, but he played safety. But as you can see the C on his chest in the background in the picture there. He is a leader. He adds a lot of versatility. And I actually think that he could actually start for this team at strong side linebacker. And I saw this report out there about him starting. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to put this on the Raiders report. So Muse starting at strong side linebacker. I'm going to give it to Chucky Heads. People are talking. And since we've gone out and drafted Muse, he's been a very fun and entertaining player. And as soon as I saw the Las Vegas Review-Journal kind of put out a little bit of a story here, I was like, yes, this needs to be on the show. So the report was Muse could start at strong side linebacker this season, but what does he need to do? He needs to prove himself in pass coverage. And I have a lot of confidence in him being able to do that because, again, he played safety at Clemson. But also in terms of an NFL player, being a linebacker and covering tight ends, covering running backs under the middle, that's not the easiest thing to do. But what is the one thing that our entire draft, entire free agency is built around? Versatility. And you are 100% going to get versatility in Tanner Muse. So this is the quote from Vincent Bonsignore on the starting linebacking position, or strong side linebacking position. Don't rule out rookie Tanner Muse working his way into the picture, especially if he can prove he can provide adequate pass coverage. If so, there are times when he and Littleton can swap positions, with Littleton sliding over to the strong side and Muse moving to the weak side to give the Raiders a highly athletic group. When you listen to John, when you listen to Mike, they want players where you can put them in different spots. And if Tanner Muse can kind of be that Swiss Army knife of a player for us, don't be surprised if he is a starting strong side linebacker at some point this upcoming season. So you don't miss anything the entire season. Here at the Raiders Report, I provide news, rumors, we do live shows, we do giveaways. Bottom line, I'm going to keep you as up-to-date as humanly possible on the Las Vegas Raiders. So, all you got to do, hit that sub button, turn on your notifications, and to make sure the show continues to grow, you see that link below, youtube.com/Raiders Report. I'm begging. Send it to some friends. Let's continue to get this thing. I'm trying to get to 50K subs. All right, let's keep the show moving here. We're talking about Prince Amukamara. I promised you as soon as I'd get details, I am a little bit late here, but it is a one-year deal worth $1.05 million. And could he be starting week 1? This one is 3 Chucky heads pretty likely. I wanted to be able to give it 4 Chucky heads, but I just can't quite go there yet. The fact that we are able to get Prince Amukamara, first off, at 1.5, and we were going to pay Eli Apple $6 million, that's just mind-blowing to me, right? Now, the reason that everyone's kind of having an issue, I'll say, around the Raiders starting Prince Amukamara is because you went out and drafted Damon Arnette in round 1, 19th overall. The reason why I don't think Arnette starts is because of the Big C. Not just because of the Big C, but it definitely hurts Arnette's ability to show coaches, show players, and ultimately get more reps with the starting unit. So I think that does kind of hurt his time. And then remember, Nevin Lawson, he is suspended week 1 for swinging his helmet in week 17. But when I look at the Raiders going out and adding the Amukamara, they wanted to be able to add a veteran. It's one of the reasons why there's reports around him, and it's one of the reasons why he's been on my show for the past 2 months. He's a solid player who's played in 14-plus games the last 4 seasons. And honestly, if you want to see the best of him, go watch his 2018 tape, because that's the kind of player that I think we could be able to go out and get for this upcoming season. But when you go out and draft Arnette, who I know that Gruden likes him a lot, I mean, heck, he's compared him to Aqib Talib, and if the Raiders want to be able to run this like rough bump and run type of coverage, Arnette will be able to fit that. Bottom line, though, is Arnette, Amukamara, I think that it doesn't really matter who starts the game. It's more of maybe who finishes the game and who plays more snaps throughout the year. But I put the question on to start the show, so I'm going to ask you again. Who should start for the Raiders week 1? If you think it should be Damon Arnette, I want you to type D. If you think it should be Prince Amukamara, I want you to type P. I'm going to let you know who I think starts for the Raiders after this YouTube ad break. I am going to go put my money on Prince Amukamara because he's the veteran. I know John likes the veterans. And the fact that they were added him after the draft, that gives me reason to believe. Now, it doesn't mean I don't have high hopes for Arnette, a player who I wasn't really crazy when the Raiders drafted him, but the more and more film I watch, the more and more quotes I see from coaches, it does start to give me at least a little bit of hope. If Arnette is smart, he goes into camp, he goes in, watches what Amukamara does, he gets better behind a veteran. Because for you, Arnette, I do think that you need to sharpen up your skills a little bit, but your upside, it's definitely there. Now let's go to the next rumor here. It's around Dion Jordan and him not returning. I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads, and even though I really liked the signing of Jordan last year, according to The Athletic, I don't really see him returning. It's why I'm giving it 3 Chucky heads. You're looking at a player who played 7 games for this team last season, and when we needed him, he actually, I thought, played pretty well. However, if the Raiders are unlikely to re-sign him because of the moves that they've already made, I understand that. I mean, let's face it. You invested $25 million in Carl Nassib in free agency. Plus, you already have Max Crosby. You already have Cleveland Ferrell. And if you're looking for a project, as much as I like Jordan at age 30, if you want a project, the project is Arden Key because he's only entering year 3. Now, if the report is that he just didn't quite do enough to make it back on the team next year, that's a shame, because I will say this. In the limited time that he was on the field, and I think most Raider fans would agree with this, he actually showed me a little bit more heart and promise than a lot of other players did. Now, moved on from Ben Samayoa. He has a new home in Seattle. And now you're looking at Dion Jordan, who does have the heart, but again, he's 30 years old. We've already invested our money in some other places, so not returning. I'm going to give that one 3 Chucky heads. But I want you to let me know, okay? Scroll on down in the comments section, whether you're watching this on Facebook, whether you watch this on YouTube, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Should the Raiders re-sign Dion Jordan? I want you to give me a 1 for yes, or I want you to give me a 2 for no. Now, earlier on the show, I showed you hats. Now, I told you last week that the face masks, they were selling quick, and they did. So now, I got to show you some face shields. So if you want these white Raiders face shields, there's 3 of them for $24.99. You got to go to chatsports.com/Raiders face shield. Now, I will say this, because they've been selling so quick, the shipping, it doesn't ship until July. So that's just a FYI for you. But I do think that we're going to have to wear these things for Raiders games, and so you can actually get in the door. Go to chatsports.com/Raiders face shield. So one of the reasons why y'all probably clicked on this video is because in the title it says Jamal Adams trade, and there's been a lot of NFL news, a lot of NFL rumors around Adams and whether or not he is going to be a member of the New York Jets. So according to the report, the Jets want a first and a third round pick for Adams. Adams, he wants a deal now, but the Jets want to wait. Why is that an issue? Because Adams, there's a lot of teams that want him, because in my opinion, he is one of the best players in the entire NFL. And when you look at what he was as a rookie in 2018, and when you look at what he did in 2019, I definitely think that he has a strong case for himself saying, hey, if you're not going to pay me the money that I want, hey, if you're not going to give me what I want, I'm going to be able to go somewhere else to a team that maybe would want me. So as soon as this rumor got thrown out here, I already saw people asking me, Mitch, would you make the trade for Jamal Adams? Should the Raiders do it? Well, instead of just me answering it, it's up to you. Would you make this trade? So if the Raiders got to give up a first and a third round pick for Jamal Adams, would you make the trade? I want you to type A for yes. I want you to type B for no. As much as I love Jamal Adams, as much as I think that the Jets might actually take this deal, I don't know if it ultimately happens. So, you know I had to do it. Jamal Adams to the Raiders. I'm going to give this one only 1 Chucky head, and I think it's a small shred of truth. I saw Bill Williamson write an article about the Raiders maybe going out and getting Adams. I just do not see Mike Mayock, Jon Gruden giving up a first and a third round pick, considering how strong that they've been able to draft. The reason why I'm going to give it only 1 Chucky head is because I literally think that there is a 1% chance of it happening. As much as I love Adams and as much as I think he could fit in literally any team, I mean, you can see the bottom note. I would say Jamal Adams and Jonathan Abram would be the best safety duo in the entire NFL. The issue is there are other NFL teams that have a bigger need than safety than we do. We just went out and got Demarius Randall. So when I really think of the team that probably fits best for Jamal, as much as I hate to say it, it's probably the Dallas Cowboys. Now, as soon as we get more updates on Adams, and if Adams wants to be a Raider, hey, guess what? I'd be all for it. But again, Adams to the Raiders, this one's only 1 Chucky head. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.